doesn't matter if you have shadow people who follow you through the park. You have a friend in Gary Anderson and Night Dreams After Dark.
Do you have a paranormal story you want to share on Night Dreams Talk Radio? You could be a guest. Email us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com.
You can advertise your business on Night Dreams Talk Radio, and you will be heard worldwide. Why not contact us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com. Night Dreams Talk Radio Network brings you the World Paranormal News with James Creechbaum. Now, the latest news.
This is Night Dreams Talk Radio Network News, and I'm James Creechbaum. Strange creature washes up on the Mexico beach. Now, this strange eyeless sea beast is rumored to have come from the depths of the Pacific Ocean. And according to reports, the people who found it initially mistook it for a dolphin, but quickly changed their minds after getting a closer look at it. None of the local fishermen who came to examine the carcass could identify what it was either. Some have speculated that it could have come from the particularly deep part of the ocean off the coast of Puerto Vallarta that descends to a depth of over 1,000 meters. NASA celebrates 30 years of the pale blue dot. This humbling image of our world taken from far, far away has been honored this week with a modern remaster. On February 14, 1990, the Voyager 1 space probe turned its cameras back towards the planet of its origin and snapped a photograph from a distance of 3.7 billion miles. The resulting image, which shows the Earth as a tiny speck against the emptiness of space, was dubbed the pale blue dot and has long been regarded as one of the most important and humbling space images ever taken. Its significance was best described by the words of the late astronomer Carl Sagan when he said, "Look again at that dot." He wrote, "That's here, that's home, that's us." Is Bigfoot really an ancient hominid? Countless numbers of researchers have devoted years of their lives trying to discover the true identity of Bigfoot. So far, they have been unsuccessful. Bigfoot has been identified as many things, including a hoax, shapeshifter, unknown species of primate, an extinct prehistoric ape, and even an alien. A new theory, and one that has considerable merit, identifies Bigfoot as a once-thought extinct hominid known as Paranthropus. Original board game of death discovered in Egypt. An archaeologist discovered an uncategorized wooden Senate board that may be one of the first examples of when the game of chance became the game of death. The board and 9 playing pieces were acquired by the Rosicrucian Egyptian Museum in 1947. While playing the board game of death might sound exciting, would you really want to win if you knew it kept a soul from moving on to the afterlife? Glitch in the Matrix as a bird hovers motionless. A very strange video clip recently uploaded onto Facebook shows a bird seemingly frozen in midair. The other morning, the witness was taken to their daughter to school, and she wrote, "Look at that bird, it's frozen." They had stopped the car to see what she meant, and they saw a crow frozen in the sky. "Looks like it was in the middle of flapping its wings," said the witness. Sure enough, the clip appears to show a blackbird hanging motionless in the air. It even has its wings outstretched, yet does not seem to be exhibiting any noticeable signs of movement. Arakoth rewrites theory of planet formation. New Horizons encounter with a Kuiper Belt object that has turned what we know of planet formation on its head. with a mass of approximately 10,000 times that of the comet visited by ESA's Rosetta spacecraft. Arrokoth, previously known as Ultima Thule, is around 30 miles in diameter and orbits the Sun once every 295 years. Now, at last, it came to be revealed that scientists have found no evidence of a violent impact, meaning that the traditional view that the planets formed through a series of violent collisions is likely incorrect. Do schizophrenics live in a parallel universe? Schizophrenia comes from the two Greek words that mean to split in mind. Because there is a split between what's going on in their minds and what's happening in reality, well, quantum objects can exist in different states, and it can be argued that each different state belongs to a different world. This world simply a multiverse. This idea has been extended even further to cover actions with more than one possible outcome. If the theory is correct, then each possible outcome is in a different but parallel universe. So could schizophrenics really be spanning more than one reality state at once? Next news break, next show.
Coming to you from some far point station, like a cosmic tumbleweed, both north and south of the Pleiades. Here's your host, Gary Anderson.
And here I am. We're talking to Tom Davis. We're talking about, well, conspiracies, UFOs, aliens, abductions, well, anything in that order. Well, Tom, are you still with us, my friend?
Absolutely.
Well, you know what? I just got a funny feeling. You know, people are vanishing at a huge rate off this planet. Where are they going? I can tell you one thing. The Earth isn't flat, so they're not falling off of it, I don't think. Or maybe the Earth is flat. But are they being abducted by aliens? That's my question. And my question not just to you, to the government, to anybody that might know. Something is going on and we're not being told the truth.
Well, I think that's part of what Reagan was talking about when they, he said, well, what were you at them, Gary, from out there? I think that tantraloids very well, there's just one alien group among the many. And supposedly they are insectoid and they are carnivorous and they're shapeshifters. We have, 60,000 people in this country alone that disappear every year. And if you basically go, worldwide, we're talking about, 250,000 people?
Oh, yeah.
Plus. So, if in fact people will open their minds up and say, well, there's a very real possibility that, I'm not saying all of them, but there's probably a pretty good percentage of them that could end up, I'll call it cosmic cordon bleu. I mean, you don't know. And why was it that Ronald Reagan asked Casey, do we have a war plan in place to deal with these aliens? And the answer was yes. And part of that war plan, supposedly, was Star Wars.
Well, I think so. I think it was more to protect us from out there than it is over there.
Yeah, well, that's what, he sold it to the American public as he gave them a bill of goods because he knew they could buy that. It was during the Cold War, and we would have a, quote, shield against incoming Soviet missiles. But that supposedly is not and was not the case. And that Space Force that's been out there is supposedly part of the protection that is out there to protect us against them, even though they've admitted. I mean, you can't. It's just okay. It's like the wall. You cannot. I remember being a border patrol agent at 8:00 in the morning, and here comes little Juan, and we catch him, and we take him back, and we process him, and he goes back across the border. He was, when I say little, he was about 16, and so at noon, catch him again, take him back, process him, catch him at 3:00, take him back, process him, and I looked at him and I said, you're very bound and determined. I said, but now you're second shift's problem. The point is that all of those aliens with the technology that they have, and if you have those that are hostile and they in fact are carnivorous, they're going to get through. You can't stop all of them. We don't have the technology to do it. We don't have the technology to stop everybody that wants to come into this country. So if you're talking about a race of entities that's hostile toward Homo sapiens, and they're 1,000 years more advanced than we are, how many of those people are you really going to be able to stop? Yeah, they have a war plan, but it's kind of like the wall on the southern border. You can't stop everybody from coming through. And I think that if Mary Joyce is correct, and I have every reason to believe that much of what she says is right on the money, we are at war with those aliens. We probably have been for a while.
Yeah,
I think that may be very, very a very real scenario as to why you have so many people that are disappearing.
Well, put it this way. You know what? It's like right now, the military's putting laser on ships. They are doing all this stuff. Now, to us, if you went back in time, let's say we went back to World War II, right? And here's the guys with their M1s, right? Fighting a war. Or we would take our destroyers or battleships, and they had to fight against some of the ships that we have now, the technology with the missiles and the laser, and they would look at us, oh my God, what is this? Where are they from? Well, you know what? I don't think, regardless if we are in space, our technology can't compare with somebody. It's far, far advanced than us. I mean, it's like driving a Model T compared to driving the latest model car at the showroom. It's just, I think we're on a losing situation here. And that's why in my mind, I think that the government is slowly setting us up for something. I've had people come on and say, well, you know what? The government is going to create here shortly a alien attack, which is all fake. It's all going to be a hologram. It's going to be this, and this. But what if they're wrong? Let's say that maybe there is worried about us being attacked. We, like the day the Earth stood still, the UFO landed, right? The alien walked out. The first thing we did was shoot him. Then the robot came out, and then it started vaporizing tanks and jeeps and men and weapons. I mean, I just don't think we have the technology. If they are so advanced to come here and get through our Earth security, it scares me. It really does, Tom.
Well, do you remember, I'm sure you do, how Werner von Braun, that was one of the scenarios that he presented, was that first they were going to use, they have to have a boogeyman. So they used, the evil empire of the Soviet Union. Well, then the wall came down, and so they had to come up with a new one. So then they went to terrorism. Okay, and you got to keep the military-industrial complex going. So, now the next one may very well be what Werner von Braun said it was going to be, and that is, those forces out there coming down here. Independence Day. Perfect